Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another video. It is the game preview. Everton taking on Chelsea on Sunday afternoon. 2 o'clock kickoff at Goodison Park. The Toffees are back at Goodison after what was an absolutely fantastic win on Thursday night against Newcastle United. Our third 3-0 win on the bounce at Goodison Park in terms of the only games we've won at Goodison Park this season have been 3-0 wins. Bournemouth, Burnley, and then, of course, Newcastle. Hopefully, we can make Sunday another 3-0 win, which would obviously be huge in terms of the confidence in the team, in terms of the motivation of the players, and obviously in terms of the Premier League table as well. Everton come up against a side that we actually should be sat above in the Premier League table right now. Chelsea currently sat 10th in the league with 15 games played, 5 wins, 4 draws and 6 defeats on 19 points. Everton, of course, sitting outside of the relegation zone now. 15 games played, 6 wins, 2 draws and 7 defeats, which of course would put us on 20 points, but we have had that 10-point deduction, so we are nowhere near where we actually deserve to be. And in reality, this game is a fairly even matched game between two sides that are in and around the mid-table of the Premier League and will look to push towards a potential fight for the European spot towards the end of the season. That isn't the situation, because as we've spoken about numerous times already on the channel, the Premier League and its corruption has decided to make sure that Everton aren't actually where they deserve to be. However, we are now away from the relegation zone, which is absolutely fantastic. That win on Thursday putting us into 17th position, a point above Luton, and another win on Sunday would obviously drive us further and further up the table. In my opinion, we shouldn't be looking behind us. We shouldn't be looking at teams like Luton and Burnley and Sheffield United and wondering what they're doing and what results they're picking up. We should be looking towards the likes of Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, and how we can climb the table and get above those teams once again, because that, let's be honest, is truly where we deserve to be. Chelsea, of course, a little bit hot and cold this season, as they have been for the last sort of year or so. Obviously spent a ridiculous amount of money, over £1 billion spent over the course of the last 12 months with absolutely no caution or no points deduction or no investigation against them. Remember, this league only cares about sustainability. This league only cares about football clubs being able to fund themselves and being able to fund the players that they are signing. Chelsea can spend £1 billion. Everton spend £20 million more than they should, and all of a sudden we're given a 10-point deduction, and Chelsea are, held up in this esteem as a team that people should be looking towards. It's a load of nonsense. Let's have it right. But Chelsea have been very inconsistent over the course of Todd Bowley's time at the football club. Obviously, they've gone through a couple of different managers, starting with Thomas Tuchel. He was sacked. Obviously, Graham Potter come in under the impression that he was going to be able to replicate what he did at Brighton at Chelsea and turn them once again into a side that, are fighting for titles and championships and Champions League places, etc., etc., etc. It didn't work for him, whether it was because Chelsea were too big of a job, whether it was because he wasn't given enough time, probably because he wasn't given enough time to do the job that, he needed to do there. But ultimately, he was sacked, he was moved on and replaced with their now manager, Mauricio Pochettino, who, of course, has had a long stint in the Premier League prior to this with Tottenham Hotspur, has gone away to France, and now obviously has returned to the Premier League. A good manager, a very good manager, a very good tactician, but has by no means had a great start to his time at Chelsea Football Club. Their last result was a defeat to Manchester United on Wednesday evening. They beat Brighton 3-2 at the weekend, barely scraping past Brighton, of course, with 10 men. They lost 4-1 to Chelsea the weekend before. Again, another game they went down to 10 men in. Obviously, the draw with Manchester City before that as well, which was quite a big result for them, beating Tottenham in another mad game. Lost to Brentford, drew with Arsenal. Arsenal, beating Burnley, beating Fulham, beating Brighton in the Cup. So they've not had a particularly dreadful start to the season by any sense of the imagination, but for a club who demands as much as Chelsea do, for a fan base who demands that their team is fighting at the top end of the table, fighting for league titles and fighting for European positions every single year, to be sat 10th in the league, bang on mid-table in the middle of December, probably isn't where they would like to be. And as I said, if there was fairness in this league and this league actually cared about fairness and sustainability as opposed to just saying it does, then this obviously would be a battle between two sides that were in similar positions. Everton would be 10th and Chelsea would be 11th. So yeah, it will be a tough one. They obviously have got a lot of quality in that side, even though they might not necessarily put it together well every single week. They have got players there with a ridiculous amount of talent. Players like Cole Palmer, who I think is an incredibly talented player, obviously scored against Manchester United on Wednesday. Mudryk, who hasn't quite hit the ground running, but has very clearly got a lot of talent. Enzo Fernandez, similarly. There's a lot of players in this Chelsea team that are very talented, but haven't quite hit the ground running yet and might never hit the ground running. They might do. It might just take them time. Who knows? But they are definitely not a team to be overlooked and definitely not a team to be looked at and thought, you know what, we'll absolutely wipe the floor with these, because they have got talent in there. As I said, Cole Palmer, Mudryk, Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, £100-odd million. Caicedo, £100-odd million. Lavia, £60-odd million. Obviously, Mudryk was £80-odd million. I think Cole Palmer was 40-odd, 50-odd million pounds. So they've got a lot of expensive players in there that very clearly are talented and have got ability. It's just about being able to get that out of them. And Mauricio Pochettino hasn't been able to do that thus far. Certainly hasn't been able to do that on a consistent basis. And it's up to Sean Dyche and those Everton players to make sure that he's not able to do that on Sunday as well. One thing that struck me hugely after the win against Newcastle on Thursday night was that if Everton perform in that same way, if Everton approach this game on Sunday with the same amount of fight and desire and passion and energy and commitment to the cause, I'm talking about Ashley Young chasing a ball down in the 89th minute, from one side of the pitch to the other side of the pitch, a 38-year-old, with 10 minutes to go in a game, 2-0 up, and he's still chasing balls down as if, it's a cup final and we're losing 1-0. If Everton approach this game and these players approach this game with that same level of intensity, then I think we can beat this Chelsea side. I've got absolutely no worry about that whatsoever. This Chelsea side, as I said, there's got a lot of talent in there, but I don't think that group of players strikes me as the type of group that are going to be willing to step up and match the work rate of certainly what those Everton players put in on Thursday night against Newcastle. If we put that same level of effort and that same level of fight and determination in, then I don't think those Chelsea players will be able to match that. It has to be said they've got quality, so it's not a case of, we only have to work hard and we're guaranteed to win, because we know that's not how football works. And, as I said, Cole Palmer could quite easily pull one out the aft from 30-odd yards, or Mudryk might turn in, he might seize his potential for once, who knows. But I am confident going into this game, because I think Everton are in a really good position at the moment in terms of the confidence of the team. I think the manager is in a really, really good position. The players seem to be doing exactly what he wants in pretty much every game now, and we've spoken a lot recently about the home form and about how Everton need to improve the home form, but the reality of the situation is, over the last 2 months or so, our home form hasn't actually been as bad as people are stating. Yes, it's not been generally brilliant for the course of the season, and yes, at the beginning of the season it needed improving massively, and to be fair, it probably still does need to improve in order to be able to match how good we are away from home. But it has improved. It's improved drastically from August to now. And you look at some of the results we've picked up recently, we absolutely dispatched the Bournemouth with no issue whatsoever. We did the same with Burnley. I know the Burnley game was in the cup, but it was still a game against the Premier League side that posed certain difficulties, and we dealt with it with no problem whatsoever. We were unfortunate against Brighton. We should have won that game. We were very unlucky on that day, and then we had the Manchester United game that you can put to one side and write off. But yesterday, at the time of recording, obviously it's Friday, the game against Newcastle on Thursday, should I say, showed that we can turn up against good sides and put good performances in. And we've seen that many a times over the years at Goodison Park, that when Everton are in that reign of form, and when Everton are that confident, and when those players and the manager know what they're doing and know how to ultimately do what the manager wants them to do, and the fans can get behind that, than even some of the best teams in the country have come to Goodison Park over the years and lost because Everton have been that good on the day. So there's no reason we can't be like that again on Sunday. I think it'll be really, really interesting to see the manager's team selection, because obviously there was a couple of players in there against Newcastle. Ashley Young being one of them, who of course is one of the older players in the squad. Seamus Coleman, of course, being one of them, one of the older players in the squad as well. Abdoulaye Doucouré isn't necessarily young players in there that it'll be interesting to see whether or not they can, hit that level again only a couple of days later against another side with a number of top quality players in there. But I think the majority of Evertonians will be going into this game with an air of confidence about us because of how well we played on Thursday and how good of a result that was. And I think those players will be going into this game feeling like they can beat Chelsea. Chelsea are as I said, they're a side that have definitely got quality and definitely have got ability in there, but they're by no means the finished article. Their team is by no means a fully functional side yet, because if it was a fully functional side, then they wouldn't be anywhere near the situation and the position that they're in the league. This is a team that were very nearly tagged into a relegation battle at the end of last season. Obviously turned to Frank Lampard, who'd just been sacked by Everton, to try and steady the ship, and he couldn't steady the ship. Pochettino sort of has steadied the ship at times, but also is at times they look so dysfunctional. They look so all over the place. They don't look like they understand what the manager wants from them or what the fans demand from them. And this is a Chelsea team that, whilst it's got goals in it, as you can see by some of the recent results, obviously they were beaten by Manchester United, but they scored 3 against Brighton, scored against Newcastle, 4 against Man City, 4 against Tottenham, 2 against Blackburn, 2 against Brentford, 2 against Arsenal, 4 against Burnley. It's definitely a side that has got goals in it, but it's also a side that leaks goals, and it's also a side that you can definitely get at. You can put pressure on, and you can certainly, give them a difficult afternoon. And I just look at that Chelsea squad, and I just think if Everton can put that performance in that we did on Thursday against Newcastle, preferably finish some of the chances that we created in the first half as opposed to leaving it until the last 20 minutes, then I think we can win this game, and I think we can win this game relatively comfortably. I'm not saying that we will, because there's no guarantee that we'll be able to perform in the way that we did on Thursday, but I'm not fearful of this Chelsea side. It's not like a Chelsea side of years gone by where you're looking and you're sort of thinking, oh, these are one of the best teams in the league. These are going to challenge for the league title. This is going to be difficult, etc., etc., etc. Of course, it will be difficult. Of course, it will be a challenge, but I'm confident going into this game. I really, really am confident going into this game, and I think now we as a football club are in a really, really good position, because I think the manager understands the players. I think the manager will know exactly what he needs to do in order to get a result. He was at Chelsea's game against Manchester United on Wednesday, so we'll know exactly how they play, the system they play, the way which certain players perform at Chelsea. They're obviously their threats, being Cole Palmer, I'm sure, will be somebody that was flagged up, and he'll also understand their weaknesses as well. Manchester United aren't in particularly good form at the moment and aren't having a great season, but they beat them, and they beat them comfortably on Wednesday night. So yeah, it'll be a really, really interesting one, this. But I think I speak on behalf of all Evertonians saying, we are as confident as we can be going into this game. And, generally we've got quite a good record against Chelsea at Goodison Park over the years. And hopefully we can, we can go and get what would be another absolutely huge, huge win on Sunday, because we need it. Let's be honest, we need it. We need to keep winning games. We need to keep picking up points. Thursday was absolutely outstanding, and it was absolutely outstanding. But, we can't just look at Thursday and think, oh, well, that was great and that'll do. We don't. We need to keep pushing on. And ultimately, we need to keep fighting for results and putting in performances. And these players, I think, have shown over the last couple of weeks or so, and definitely did on Thursday, that they won't stop fighting. They won't stop battling. They won't stop working hard. They're not just going to, fall over and crumble. They are there to battle and fight and drag, themselves and us as a football club out of that position, despite the fact that we're not in that position through any fault of theirs. So, yeah. Obviously, it'll be a really interesting game. Let's get into our predicted starting 11, brought to you, of course, as always, by FanHub. Get down in the description. Go and check out FanHub. Completely free app to download. If you use the code THE-UBP, then, of course, you can download it for free. You'll get on straight away. Go and follow us over there at the Mighty Blues as well. Loads of different things you can do on FanHub. You can do predictions. whether it be your predicted starting 11, whether it be your predictions for games, and the more predictions you get right, the more points you get, the more points you win. You can exchange them for rewards, things like clothing or even pints of beer in your local boozer. So let's get straight into it then. In goal, Jordan Pickford, of course, did seem to struggle with a little bit of an injury towards the back end of that game against Newcastle on Thursday. Not too sure whether it's anything serious. Hopefully it isn't anything too serious. I've not seen the manager's press conference as of yet. Obviously he went off to get treatment, and then when he come back on, he looked okay, to be fair, but he did look to be struggling with something in his right leg. But on the assumption that he's fit and he's available, he, of course, starts this game. Jordan's our number one goalkeeper. You know, he didn't have an awful lot to do on Thursday. All he really had to do was wind them up and frustrate them. But to be fair to him, he did that, you know, as well as Jordan knows how to do it. And, yeah, you know, he's somebody that has won us big games in the past against Chelsea and made some huge saves in big moments against this football club to see Everton over the line. And there's no reason why he wouldn't be in goal on Sunday, unless, of course, he picks up an injury. But to my knowledge, that isn't the case. Left back then, as always, Vitaly Mikalenko. Thought he was absolutely excellent again on Thursday. This lad is just getting better and better and better. He's improving by the week. He's improving by the day. He's getting stronger. He's getting fitter. He's getting more confident. He's getting more aggressive with the ball at his feet. He's getting more aggressive off the ball as well. He's been absolutely brilliant this season, and it's really, really difficult to fault Vitaly Mikalenko. And, you know, not only is he, doing really, really well defensively, but going forward, he's obviously shown a lot more as well. A couple of goals this season. But yeah, again, hugely impressed with him on Thursday, and no reason why he shouldn't be in there. The two centre-backs at this point pretty much pick themselves, don't they? Jared Branthwaite and James Tarkowski. We speak so much about the improvements in Vitaly Mikalenko and how well he's done and how impressive he's been. I think a lot of that has to go down to having Jared Branthwaite next to him, having that player next to him who's so confident, so cool, so collected on the ball that it almost helps everybody else in the squad, because there's an air of confidence from everybody else about Jared Branthwaite. And, you know, I think he's been excellent. He was excellent again against Newcastle. Really solid, strong, centre-back performance, and one that definitely deserved credit. Tarkowski next to him, similarly. Really impressive performance against Newcastle. Obviously threw himself in front of a couple of challenges, threw himself in front of the ball a couple of times, to win it. And yeah, again, you will find it difficult to criticise James Tarkowski over the last few weeks or so, because I think he's been absolutely outstanding of late. So yeah, right back, I am actually going to go with Nathan Patterson. Obviously Seamus was brought off on Thursday as a bit of a precaution. I think he did have a slight problem. The manager said in the press conference he had a bit of a slight problem, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. Ashley Young, of course, played the entire 90 minutes as well. How likely is it that Ashley Young will start a game 3 days later? Well, who knows? Maybe the manager sees him as one of the fittest players in the team, and the age thing doesn't really matter, and maybe he will be in there. I'm going to go with Pato. Come off the bench, obviously, against Newcastle. Really impressive in the short time that he was on the pitch. He ended up getting an assist in the short time that he was on the pitch as well. And yeah, again, with the age of Seamus, is it sensible to throw him in, twice in the space of 3 days? Probably not. Ashley Young maybe needed in midfield again, dependent on obviously the situations with Onana and James Garner. So yeah, I'm going to go with Patterson in there. Into the midfield then, I'm going to go with James Garner back in there. Obviously missed the game through an illness yesterday, and that was a decision that was taken at dinner time, according to the manager. Hopefully he'll be okay for Sunday. If it is just an illness, if it is just a bug, then hopefully it's something that passes within 24 hours. Again, we don't really know that. We could be in a situation where he's still ill on Sunday and we're having to rely on, Decore to fit back in there again. But yeah, again, I think hopefully he should be okay, and if he is okay, he will almost certainly be back in that starting 11, because he's been one of our best players this season. That is for sure. As who goes next to him? Again, I don't know. Onana not being available of late. I am going to go with... I don't know. I'm going to go with Garner Gay again. Now, this mightn't be the most sensible thing in the world because of the fact that it's another game in the space of such a short period of time for Ghana Gay. But, you know, at some point we have to look at the situation and think, well, who else goes in there? I know Decore played in a little bit of a deeper role on Thursday, but that was because Ashley Young was also in there next to him. And as I said, I'm not quite sure Ashley Young will play in this game. Maybe he will, and we'll see the same midfield as we did against Newcastle. That's quite possible, but I'm going to go with Garner in there. Thought he was absolutely excellent again on Thursday. Thought he's been absolutely excellent for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, and you know, I don't think he should be dropped. Maybe he'll be taken out because of worries about his fitness and stuff, but as I said, I think he's been absolutely brilliant, and if he's fit and ready, then I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be in there. Left side of the wing, obviously Dwight McNeil, and then right side, I'm going to go with Jack Harrison. They've been obviously the sort of default wingers this season. They haven't always been great. They haven't always put in brilliant performances, but as of late, they've certainly been much better than they had been previously. Dwight McNeil was absolutely excellent again on Thursday night. Dominant, obviously scored the opening goal, which ultimately saw us go on and win the game, and saw us, you know, comfortably being able to sort of to see the game out. I think his work rate has been absolutely excellent. I think his desire is absolutely excellent, and obviously his ability on the football is quite brilliant as well. Jack Harrison on the other side, as I said, not hugely impressed with Jack Harrison of late, but I do think he put in his best performance for a long time yesterday. Certainly after the second goal went in, certainly after the first goal went in, I thought he was absolutely electric, and you could tell that it gave him a massive confidence boost, and obviously he had a huge part to play in the second goal as well. So Jack Harrison there. Behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've just given away who I'm playing up front, but behind the striker, I'm going to go with, where is he? Abdoulaye Doucouré, and then up front, I'm going to go with Dom. Abdoulaye Doucouré again. Another big goal on Thursday. I think it's his 5th goal of the season. Now 10 goals since Sean Dyche has come into the football club in the Premier League, which is absolutely huge. He's been excellent. His home form hasn't been as good as his away form, but hopefully that's something that we can work on. And the thing with Doucouré is if you ever need a goal, you can almost guarantee that Abdoulaye Doucouré will be there to put the ball in the back of the net in big moments, in big games. So, yeah. And then up front, I'm going to go with Dom. Look, I know he wasn't great against Newcastle. I know he missed a couple of chances. I know Beto come on and ultimately scored, but I still think if you were to say to me both Beto and Dominic Calvert-Lewin are fit, who are you picking? I still go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I don't think he was particularly bad on Thursday. I just think he was wasteful with his opportunities, and he should have done much better with them. But again, maybe a little bit unfortunate for Beto. I wouldn't mind seeing him starting and playing a full game at home. Hopefully that goal will give him a huge amount of confidence. But yeah, for the minute, I'm going to go with Dom. Let's save that then. As I said, don't forget to go and check out Fan Hub down below and get your predictions in. Follow us over there at The Mighty Blues. Completely free to download. Helps the channel out massively as well. So there you go. That is our game preview. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. We'll, of course, be back with the instant match reaction and the player ratings on Sunday. So look out for those. Don't forget to go and check out all of the post-game content from Newcastle, instant match reaction, player ratings and review all up now. So look out for those. But yeah, another big game on Sunday. Hopefully it can be another big 3 points. Won't be easy, but it's certainly a winnable game and one that I feel Everton can go out and win, definitely. So there you go. Big thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new, and we'll see you after.